threat of disaster is never pleasant.
Welcome to the Casual Preppers Podcast.
These safety measures are essential.
The only place for prepping, survival, and entertainment.
This will be your source of survival instructions and information. Every member of the family must be coached in the business of survival.
Here are your hosts, Cam and Kobe.
Yeah.
What
are we talking about today, Cam?
Yeah.
Do it.
We're talking about Stonehenge.
Stonehenge. Yeah. We're excited.
It's a weird thing.
It really is a weird thing.
Like, I don't feel like after all this research, I really have a clue what it is.
It's a bunch of rocks.
A bunch of people put some weird stuff together. And we, yeah.
The research did not come up with a lot.
No, it like went back and forth so many times.
Yeah.
So I bet we clarify it a whole bunch.
Pretty sure we're going to have a big scientific breakthrough today on the podcast.
Well, I ain't never thought about it that way.
Well, these guys have got something going on. They're figuring it out.
Yep.
You know what
That's
I mean?
what we do.
Yeah. We're excited, though.
Yeah,
right?
we are very excited. I want to tell you about something that can be very exciting.
Okay.
Look, there's a lot that goes into preparing. You got to think about food and water and power and protection. Don't forget self-reliant medical care. There ain't going to be an urgent care in all these scenarios.
No.
So
probably
you
be a
need-
dentist office, though.
Guaranteed.
They're gonna-
probably the ones that created
That's
the apocalypse.
The only working functioning business anywhere is going to be a dentist office,
Yep.
probably.
But if you struggle with them as much as we do,
Yeah.
the Prepper's Medical Handbook has dental
Teeth
information
stuff.
in it too.
Teethers.
Yep. How to make your own crown. No, I don't know about that.
Can't do it.
But listen, you got to take care of yourself and your
Yeah.
family and your group. Have this. This is like a medical Bible. It's the Prepper's Medical Handbook written by William W. Ford.
Medical scriptures.
Scripture chase. But
Verse 7, chapter 5,
dental pain.
W. Forger says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great book to give those that don't have a lot of medical knowledge, and those that have medical knowledge, more knowledge.
Yeah, man.
It's a great book, and it's one that's always been part of my medical library as well as my prepper library. So I think you guys should get one. You need to know how to take care of yourself, and this one hits all the basic stuff.
Gets all the good stuff,
Yeah,
right?
so go get you one. Go to Amazon, or you can go to preppersmedicalhandbook.com. I don't know if it's still a website.
Either way.
But I bet so.
Probably. Yeah, so today, man, we're excited. We got a Mindless Banner 135. We're talking about Stonehenge. Stonehenge.
So for the longest time, I always thought it was Stonehenge. Now it's like so many hedges
It's like
over there.
a bush.
Yeah.
A bush of some sort.
I was like, that's weird. Stonehenge.
Yeah, that's a
Don't have to trim it.
No.
It's always the same height and everything. It's
Yeah,
nice.
that's kind of nice. But yeah, Stonehenge, man, it's something that a lot of people don't know much about. Everybody knows what it looks like.
I still don't know anything about it.
We've been researching for a week. You got a clue.
It's
what this
a
thing is.
weird freaking deal.
Yeah, but let's talk about what is Stonehenge. It's a prehistoric stone circle monument.
Yeah.
Might be a cemetery. It's an archaeological site located in Salisbury Plain.
Salisbury.
Yeah, and like I can't think of anything other than Salisbury steak.
Is that where that was
I don't
made
know.
to?
I assume.
Yeah.
I would think so.
These stones were made to cut fine Salisbury
Gravy
steak.
steak. I mean, what is Salisbury steak?
I don't know.
Steak with gravy on it.
The
right?
Campbell's soup, that's Salisbury steak.
They have
they have
didn't
like
know that.
little teeny hamburgers in it.
Do they?
Because they're little circles.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if it's meat.
Well, I
it
think-
just tastes like Play-Doh.
The only time I've had Salisbury steak was I was real young, and it was in like a TV dinner or something.
What is Salisbury steak?
I think it's like
specifically?
a hamburger type steak.
It's just hamburger.
with gravy
it's
on
like
it,
meatloaf,
but it has gravy on it.
Yeah, that's it. Huh?
It's like a meatloaf. Yeah, it's kind of like a.
I don't know. It's good.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I'll eat it. But
it's got meat in it.
anyways, Salisbury Plain. This is 8 miles north of Salisbury, Wiltshire, England.
Wiltshire.
Yeah, Stonehenge was built in 6
Wiltshire.
stages between 3000 and 1520 BCE. And that's like during the transition from the Neolithic period to the Bronze Age. So back in the day, it's been a long time,
Well, a long
obviously.
time.
And it took them a long time to build it. As a prehistoric stone circle, it is unique because of its artificially shaped sarsen stones. This is blocks of Cenozoic silcrete. Arranged in a post and lintel formation. And because of the remote origin of its smaller blue stones, that's the igneous and other rocks, from 100 to 150 miles away in South Wales. So that is a little
There's
odd.
all the facts that you need. I know that's like pieces of it
Yeah.
are from like way further away than where I thought all of it came from.
Much of the mystery surrounding Stonehenge is very similar to the mystery surrounding the pyramids.
Yeah.
Because we did an episode on the pyramids a while ago, and a lot of it's kind of similar. It's like, how did they get these stones here? How did they build it? Why did they build it? All of those things. Same thing. We don't have a freaking clue.
We don't have a clue.
Nobody has a
And
has
it's
a
in the
clue.
ley line.
It's a ley line. We're
Right
talking
in
about some ley
the
lines.
important ley lines.
That's right. The name of the monument probably derives from the Saxon Stanhengen, meaning stone hanging or gallows.
Oh.
So it's kind of like,
okay.
yeah, you
I
can
was
kind of
wondering
see.
where hinge came from.
Yeah. The Stonehenge bluestones weigh between 2 and 5 tons each, which is a lot of weight.
Yeah.
While the larger Sarsens weigh around 25 tons. The largest one, the heel stone, weighs 30 tons.
Holy crap.
That's like a lot.
It's easy to move
You
around.
can't just pick it up with a couple of big dudes, you know.
unless they're giants.
Unless they're giant. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get to that. So many theories have been proposed as to how the giant stones were raised, but the most popular theory suggests they were moved into position using plant fiber ropes and wooden A-frame.
That's a standard way of moving things.
Yeah, you build a wooden A-frame.
Ace Hardware has some of that.
Yeah. So that's how they think they did it, you know? I don't know. Another theory took inspiration from the Easter Island heads, claiming the Stonehenge slabs were rocked from side to side with levers. They just moved back
They
and
just
forth.
walked them?
Well,
Like kind of like
sort of,
rock,
I guess.
walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rock and walk.
Rock and walking.
Hey, just walk a rocket. Hawk a rocket in it.
That's right. Small pieces of wood were then placed underneath the lifted side until the rock was nearly upright. Sort of doesn't make a lot
Sounds
of
like a
sense, but it
freaking
is.
pain.
What it
Don't
is.
worry, boys. We only got 10 miles to
I
go.
mean, what else do they got to do? I don't know.
That's true.
Further research on the stones has led archaeologists to believe some of the smaller stones came from the Preseli Hills in southwest Wales. So, I mean, makes a lot
Are the
of sense.
smaller ones the blue stones or whatever?
So there's
There's like a
so
whole
many
bunch of
different
different
stones.
I think people were just
They were stoned.
Dropping
There was a lot of stones
stones. Yeah.
everywhere. There's the outside circle. There's like an inside circle. There's an outer circle.
It's almost like the weird rock painting like trails that they make nowadays.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's like they just keep bringing more stones in.
Exactly. Yep. You know, while these stones weren't as heavy, they still weigh in at an impressive 2 to 5 tons. So still pretty freaking
yeah.
big. And those in the Preseli Hills are over 150 miles away from the
That's
site.
what's weird.
Yeah. How the humans transported these stones remain one of the biggest mysteries about Stonehenge. That's the biggest mystery. It's like, how did they get these stupid things here? Right? We'll tell you some theories on that, but these statistics are the most compelling evidence that lends the validity of various conspiracies around it. The UNESCO World Heritage Site at Stonehenge, it's humongous, covering 6,500 acres. To put that in perspective, that's 7.5 times as big as New York's Central Park.
It
So
does look really cool.
the site
it's all
is
like
huge.
super
Oh,
flat. And,
yeah, it's way
I
cool.
love it.
Yeah. So the
Salisbury
tallest.
steak. Just eat some
I
Salisbury
just need to
steak.
give me some TV dinner.
Just watch the sun go up.
That we'll talk about that
Sun
too.
go down.
That's right. The tallest standing stone at Stonehenge is 8.71 meters tall. That's 28 feet.
Wow.
That's large. It's tall. But a bunch of it's underground.
Oh,
So
okay.
you know what I mean? It's
Tip of the iceberg.
That's right. You don't know what's underneath.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Large quantities of sarsen and bluestone waste material, as well as broken hammer stones, not hammer toes, talking hammer stones, all right, have been found in the field to the north of Stonehenge, where the stones were worked into shape. So they could kind of see where they were working.
Leave your
them in.
tools over there.
Yeah.
We're done.
I want you to get all your dust over here at Stonehenge. Okay? Keep it outside.
So they found the tools like a ways away, huh?
Yeah, they found a lot of weird crap around this place. I mean, it's been thousands of years. You're going to find a bunch of weird crap everywhere, I would suppose.
And there's like bones and like
Yeah.
jewelry and
Yeah.
weird stuff.
Spirits and souls and, you know, stardust and,
You know,
you know, same
Yeah.
old stuff that all the archaeologists
Chinese stars,
Chinese stars.
Kroll, the little,
Kroll, the warrior king.
yeah.
Yeah. Sarsen and flint hammer stones in various sizes have been found at Stonehenge. The larger ones would have been used to roughly flake and chip the stone, and the smaller ones to finish and smooth the surfaces. So get it into shape and make it all smooth. You know? Make it look good.
Yeah.
I like that. To fit the upright stones with the horizontal lintels, mortise holes and protruding tenons were created. Okay, Cam? The lentils,
Tendons.
yeah. The lentils were slotted together using tongue and groove joints. These types of joints are usually only found in woodworking.
I like how you put a picture in there. You're
know.
like, Cam needs to understand.
Cam likes pictures. I'm going to put a picture in there so you can see what it looks
No
like.
one else can see him.
Yeah.
I get it.
But
I get what you're talking about.
that's how they made them stick.
Oh, okay.
Right?
That makes, yeah.
They were smart giants, I tell you. To erect a stone, people dug a large hole with a sloping side, right? The back of the hole was lined with a row of wooden stakes. The stone was then moved into position and hauled upright using plant fiber ropes and probably a wooden A-frame like we talked about. Weights may have been used to help tip the stone upright. But it's like they drop it in this hole and the back of the hole was at an angle, right?
That makes sense.
Just like a picture there. Like, I know you like pictures.
I'm
Again, I'll
zooming
put the
on
picture
that.
there. Anyways,
That's a good one.
that's how they think they got those suckers up there.
Man, that's a lot of
Doesn't
work. That's a
explain the ones
lot.
on top.
I mean, sorry to say,
Yeah.
but the pyramids look way cooler
Like,
for all the work.
great job and all. Those were big stones. But the
Well,
pyramids,
have you seen what the Egyptians
the
did?
Egyptians were doing some next level shit.
They're like,
Okay.
look what we got. And then they see the freaking pyramid. They're like, oh,
The Egyptians come over and they're like, oh,
good work. Good work.
look at these peasants. That's what the Egyptian sounds like.
Yeah.
Look
Ugh.
at these peasants.
The peasants, yeah, see what we build.
They are moving
We are
rocks.
Russian now, too.
We're Russian. I don't know.
I wonder what an
What is an
Egyptian's
Egyptian?
accent. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of the Mummy. What did they talk like in the Mummy?
Oh, yeah.
Do
I
you
don't remember. I don't remember.
They had to have been Egyptian.
They don't know either. It's like, oh,
Nobody knows
give
what
them
the
a little-
Egyptian. Nobody knows anything about any of those
I know.
things over there.
It's super weird.
So, anyways, that's kind of the
It's
basics.
like a meteorite with like a huge chunk of land just crashed
Yeah.
on Earth.
I know.
Now it's all smoothed out. Looks real good. Fits right in.
because they used the tools.
Yeah, they did. So what were they
What?
made? Like why were they made? Like what's
Yeah.
the most common belief of what they were?
Just trying to show off.
This is tricky because different websites say different things. But I'd say probably the most commonly shared belief among scholars and casual preppers like us doing podcasts about it
Yeah.
is that there's strong archaeological evidence that the Stonehenge was used as a burial site.
So they were burying people there.
Burial site,
Yeah.
because they unearthed like a lot of bones of like men. They don't know if it was used as like an honorable place to be buried,
Yeah.
or if like people died there working on it, or what it was. But
Yeah,
they
I
figure it
heard
was kind of like a
conflicting-
ceremonial site.
I heard conflicting reports on that too. Like one thing I read said it was just mostly men's bones that were
Oh,
found.
really? I didn't see that.
Some said that it was men and women. Somebody's wrong. I don't know who.
Yeah.
So I saw both because they said if it was just men, it could have been like a warrior.
This is a woman's femur bone.
Yeah, can't you tell? It's looking at me in a way that's
Look at
like,
the hips. See how wide it is?
She got birthing hips.
Yeah.
But no, so they thought if it was just men, it might be a place where they're just warriors
Yeah.
were buried, right?
Yeah, it's like
They don't know.
But they did. They found a lot of bones there, so
Mm-hmm.
they figure this is like a really nice cemetery.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like you were saying, but lots of very loose cremated bone, mostly from adult males, 25 to 40 years, was found at the Stonehenge's site. This implies that people are being selected for burial here.
Yeah.
So nearly 60 burials were excavated in the 20th century, and perhaps 200 more in untouched areas of the monument.
Wow.
Maybe under the stones. I don't know.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. In England, the stone was associated with ancestors. So the dead, and construction in timber should be associated with the living, whereas like stone kind of was representing dead.
So that's
So
interesting.
that's what they
because-
figure. Like, because there's like a Stonehenge looking place that is made out of wood, and they
Right.
figured that was like more of like a living and life, whereas the Stonehenge was more death.
It's funny because a couple
burial.
things that I read or listened to said, oh, yeah, there used to be like wood frames around this.
That makes sense to me, kind of how it would
Yeah.
stand and then break down over time.
Yep.
But you don't know.
Nobody
You
knows.
don't know. There's no slivers. There's no pieces of wood
Yeah.
burned down or something. The only other strong belief is that Stonehenge is that it was a temple designated to align with the changing positions of the sun. And we'll talk a little more about that too, that it
Yeah.
aligned with stars and sun and when the sun came up in different times of year. This could suggest that the ancient Britons held a kind of religious ceremony at Stonehenge,
Yep.
perhaps during the summer and winter solstices.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting.
Which is actually cool. It's crazy that they were able to figure that out.
I know.
We'll talk about that
But
more,
sometimes when they talk about that too, I'm like, well, if you stand anywhere, it's at a certain angle, you're like, hey, the sun
Eventually.
touches the top of that rock.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if you stand over there.
Well, I think because it
There's more to it than
coincides
that.
with the
There's more to-
solstices. It coincides with like those specific days.
Obviously,
when-
because the different
Yeah.
times a year.
But
it
you're
lines
right.
up. You know
Sometimes
what
you're
I
like,
mean?
well, yeah, stand at a certain angle. Everything's going to look a certain way.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Well, the trees line up over there when I'm over on the east side.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
The shadow.
I don't know how they did that.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it either.
And then also, it is in the ley lines, which is
Right.
a kind of. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about
That was an interesting gurgle from your throat.
Yeah, it was.
I like that.
You don't mention the sacred stuff
No,
of
you
Stonehenge. Bubbles start coming up from
You got
inside.
spirits coming out your belly. Don't talk about Stonehenge.
Oh, my English blood's starting to come out. You don't talk about Stonehenge. Kills you. You just sit.
I love how they're Scottish.
But yeah, they're kind of like the ley lines, and we should do an episode on these.
We really do need to.
They're like the latitudinal and longitudinal lines.
No, son, give me that latitudinal.
Latitude. They're not
Attitude,
lines that we
latitude.
can actually see in the real world. It's just
No.
where like all these important, like the pyramids of Giza and Stonehenge all line up, which is crazy.
And they say there's like some sort of weird like power to these lines.
Yeah.
Or something.
They're power lines.
I know. Yeah. If you've played Civilization 5,
Oh,
ley lines come into play.
do they really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
For sure.
Stupid.
If you're a nerd like me, you know a little bit about ley
I
lines.
have enough nerd in me. It's all
Yeah.
right. But yeah, anyway, so that's what they believe. Mostly that it was, a burial site, but also could have been used for like religious purposes as a temple.
Yeah.
So I think it's a burial site.
I
I don't even know, honestly.
I think it's just like a ceremonial site. After everything, it's just like, I don't know if
One way or another, dead or alive.
dead or alive. You dead, you alive.
Pet cemetery of
yeah.
the past.
For sure. Yeah. If you are going to go explore the area of the Salisbury steak, you might want to do it with some really top end clothing.
Yeah.
And I would say Off the Grid Surplus is a great place to start there, because their mission is to inspire greater connection through adventure. And what's a bigger adventure than checking out some ley lines and some Stonehenges
Seriously.
and some dead
Do it in
Britons?
style.
Do it in style, because they inspire that greater connection through adventure by creating extremely functional and everyday wearable products for a great price to take you off the grid. And how do they do it? Well, let me tell you, they simplify your clothing options so that you only need one piece of clothing instead of 3 or 4. It takes it down. You got 3 or 4? No, I got one. Doing it all. And the way they do that is they combine the best features from outdoor, workwear, and tactical. And they put it all into one shirt or one pair of pants, or they put it all into
They
a pair
do.
of shorts.
It is nice.
They're
Multiple pockets, hidden pockets,
Oh my gosh.
breathable material.
all of like those accessory things that you need. A place for your knife, a place for your mag, a place for your ley line calculator. I don't know. You got places for everything. And if you guys want to go check them out, go to offthegridsurplus.com and get an extra 15% off with our code CasualPreppers15. You can remember that because we're Casual Preppers and you're getting 15% off. Casual Preppers 15.
Easy enough.
Yeah, that's offthegridsurplus.com. Cameron.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like have like a collar stave that lines up with the ley line.
Yeah.
Ah.
It's like the winter solstice.
I know where I'm going.
Like you look through a hole or something. Yeah. So let's talk about some of the theories, some of the conspiracies around it. Like, how did these
There's a lot.
freaking things get here?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense, but I got to tell you a little story. This is kind of the earliest, it's sort of like it's just a story. It's, a fantasy.
I love stories.
I do too. So it was a terrible time in Britain, Cam. The Saxons, they'd ravaged the land. They killed 3,000 nobles. Nobody was safe. The new King Aurelius, who was the future King Arthur's uncle, was distressed by all of this, obviously. He wanted to build a monument on the Salisbury Stake Plain, which was the burial site of those who had been slain.
Yeah.
So he brought together.
there you go.
He brought together some royal architects, but they couldn't come up with any suitable ideas. These were crappy architects, apparently. Then someone suggested to the king that he consult Merlin. You know Merlin,
I know
right?
Merlin.
Yeah. He was known throughout the land for his wisdom and his knowledge of the mechanical arts. So the king sent for him and explained what he wanted. Merlin scratched his head and he had to think, and he said, yes, I know just the thing. In Ireland, on top of Mount Kilauris, there's a monument that would be perfect. It's called Giant's Dance, and it's a circle formed of huge stones, which was built by a giant who lived there long ago.
Huh.
So basically, it was Stonehenge that was already built. He's like, we'll just take that, bring it over here.
Oh, so they didn't put it in place. He's just like,
Yeah.
get the big guys, carry it down here.
Carry it down. So and he said he came from Africa and he brought the boulders with him from Africa. He said these are very special stones. They have healing powers. The priests in Ireland wash these stones and collect the water as it runs off. The water takes on the healing virtue of the stones and they pour it into tubs. And you take a health bath. It's just like the cold plunge of today. Okay?
Yeah, I like
Everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. The stones also possess a kind of magic that will preserve the memory of our dead. So that this is a monument. It'll preserve the memory of the dead, cemetery.
I'd move it down there.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. So, and if this monument is set up here in Britain, it will last forever, and it pretty much has, right? The king agreed that it did indeed sound like a fitting monument, but Merlin warned that the stones were pretty big, so he's going to need some strong boys, like maybe the Cub Scouts or something.
boys are real strong.
Give me them boys with the big arms,
Big, good-looking boys.
big chests. Maybe they don't wear shirts.
Big old thick thighs. Bring those boys
What does
down.
Merlin have under his robe? That's just what I'm like seeing.
My staff. Huh? Get it to move.
It is my magical staff. We will move some hard rocks.
If all the boys hold on to it, the stones will lift.
Everybody put a hand on my staff. We're going to move some stone. Yeah, so anyways, Merlin wanted some
The king's like, I don't know about this. Merlin, you weirdo.
give Merlin some boys. So he sent an army of 15,000 men.
Holy crap.
Is that enough?
That would have been a great time to attack the kingdom. All of them are
exactly.
moving stones.
Merlin's taking a bunch of boys up to move rocks. Anyways, they went
Where's
to,
your army today? Well,
I don't know.
Merlin's got them playing with the staff.
Merlin ended up robing his staff up there in the mountains with all the boys. So they get up there. The stones were a lot larger than the soldiers had been expecting. Like, this is a lot bigger than you
You
were
ain't
saying.
kidding, Merlin.
This is a big deal. But they were all strong young men, so if anyone could move the stones, they could. Merlin smiled at them. Of course he did. That little pervert. Then told them to go ahead and move the stones by whatever means they could. Just get it done. That sounds like Merlin, doesn't it? Really, hell.
That's a good
That was
Merlin.
a first shot at it, too. It came out just right.
Get it done. So I can't even do it. That's good.
Get it done. The men used ropes, levers, pulleys, and lots.
Oh, hard. Sweat, boys. Sweat.
Your muscles are rippling like the mountains of Ireland. Yeah, they used ropes, levers, pulleys, lots of brute strength, but not a stone budged.
Dang it.
They're like, this ain't working. They were all exhausted. They were out of ideas. They gave up, sat on the ground. 15,000 men couldn't move these rocks. Merlin walked into the center of the stone circle, paced around, muttering to himself. Who knows what he was saying? Then he rearranged all the ropes, pulled on some pulleys and levers, and said, hey, you try again, boys. To their amazement...
That name is so fit, or that voice is so fitting.
Yeah. To their amazement, this time they easily dislodged
Senile wizard. That's what I hear.
perverted senile wizard. They easily dislodged the stones and moved them to the ship. When they reached Britain, they used Merlin's same techniques to transport the stones to the Salisbury Stake Plain. They arranged them there just like they had been in Ireland. Stonehenge was the result. It was a fitting memorial to the dead and a reminder that while you can do a lot with brute strength, it takes brains to move a monument. Okay?
That's a great voice.
Other versions of the story say that Merlin actually recruited some giants to move the stones,
Ah,
right? Some big old giants. And then
Big
another
old
one,
giant.
he used magic. Of course, he's Merlin. And then another one, he invoked the devil for help.
yeah.
3 different versions
Yeah.
of this story.
Well, I actually have something on the devil.
Oh, good. I
So-
like that.
The devil built it. That's it.
Okay.
So
Great.
the legend, another story involves the devil as the constructor of Stonehenge.
Oh.
He wanted to use some stones owned by an elderly Irish woman.
The devil did?
Yeah. So he disguised himself as a common man and made an offer to her. In exchange for the rocks, he agreed to pay her as many gold coins as she could count before he finished the placement of the rocks. Go on, get counting.
Get count, lady.
She thought it could be a fair challenge, so she agreed. However, the devil instantly moves the stones. Freaking ball.
He always has a trick up
Thanks
his
to his
sleeve.
supernatural power and did not pay the woman. Guess what? You ain't nothing.
I lost my fiddle in Georgia, but I
Seems
ain't
like
losing.
a lot to do for just to bamboozle some old woman.
I ain't losing my money here.
Yeah.
That's what
Upon arriving in
devil
England, the
sounds like.
devil said that he was sure nobody could guess the number of the rocks of Stonehenge.
Oh.
A clever friar guessed correctly, and the devil threw a stone at him, hitting the friar on the heel.
All right.
Thus, the origin of the heel stone.
So there's a heel stone, right?
So
yeah.
That's another little story to go along with it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good one. I like
Other
that,
real
actually.
basic things that I just kind of threw in here because I didn't find a lot on it, but
Yeah.
the British government did it. A lot of people, or the crux of this claim is that Stonehenge isn't an ancient structure at all, but it was in fact built in 1954 or 1898, according to some, by the
1954?
government as either a space portal or some kind of New Age cult.
How on earth?
Nobody noticed it until then.
But don't we have records in like the 1700s?
That's why I was like, oh, weird. I tried to find more on that just because I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
The governments are always behind these things.
Well, they really are. Yeah. New
But
World Order, maybe.
They were like, I don't know, sometime 1954, maybe 1898. The government built this.
yeah, we got a 50-year.
They were trying to bring in some aliens.
50-year window, maybe.
So it's still standing today.
Wow, I like that one actually.
Yeah.
I would like to explore that more.
I tried to find more. There wasn't much more. It's probably one guy's opinion.
I know.
Got onto Reddit, and that's where I found
Talking
it.
about one guy's opinion, there's a Welsh scientist, not Welch's, not like the grape juice.
Yeah.
But this is Welsh. He's a scientist. He's called previous theories surrounding Stonehenge mythology. He's called them mythology. Obviously, when we talk about Merlin,
yeah.
Merlin and his gay monks or whatever. But he's
His
saying
confused young strapling boys.
I know the Boy Scouts. That's where the Boy Scouts were started. Poor Boy Scouts. They've been through a lot.
They have really been through a lot.
But
Literally.
he's the first scout leader.
Yeah.
Merlin.
Y'all get a badge.
You're getting your merit badge now.
The stone movers.
Next week we'll do basket weaving.
The staff holders.
Troop 105, the staff holders of Merlin.
Man, that voice is so good.
Yeah, so he's called all the previous theories like this is all mythology. This is all crap. This is stupid. I don't believe any of it.
Yeah.
But his claim was that the stones were
The
removed-
realist.
Huh? Yeah. The stones were removed 500,000 years ago by a glacier.
Happens all the time.
Happens all the time.
Those glaciers
They
push
just
stuff
drop off
all
a bunch of stones in a perfect circle.
Yeah.
No,
That's a
he's-
good band.
It really is a good band. Brian John, that's his name. Brian John. All right.
Simple double first name.
Double first namers. We love those. Believes he has solved the mystery of how massive blue stones moved 140 miles west to the south of England from a quarry in Wales where they were believed to have originated. A popular theory is that humans carried and dragged the stones 5,000 years ago, but it has never been discovered how Stone Age people achieved such a feat. According to John, the evidence supports a scenario in which the blue stones were carried to the site by a glacier 500,000 years ago. Long, long time ago. It would answer the question as
Can't
to,
prove me wrong.
yeah, what are you going to do? Show me video footage?
Yeah, 500,000 can't tell me it didn't happen.
Brian John ain't wrong. All right?
Brian John out.
Yeah. Brian John is
Prove me
finished.
wrong.
Yeah. His theory would also answer the question as to why the ancient builder of Stonehenge believed the stones to have such a spiritual significance and that they were worth the effort of all that transport. So obviously, if they were bringing them 150 miles, there was something special about the stones, right? But he's like, no. There was nothing special. They were just there.
Yeah. They're just sitting
glacier
on top
dropped
of the
them
glacier.
Just like a kid at the mall in the 80s. The mama dropped him off right
Glacier will be here about now.
Yeah, all right.
Drop my stones off.
Waiting for these stones for a while. Glacier's not on time. But anyway.
I love the glacier theory.
Glacier.
Glacier comes out
That's
a lot.
the Asian glacier.
A glacier's big.
Asian glacier.
It's just like it's always like, I don't know, probably glacier pushed
I
it
know.
there. And
That's like-
always like
Avalanche. Maybe
middle
it was
of the
avalanche.
desert, glacier pushed it there.
Maybe Avalanche brought the
Maybe
stones
big
to Henge.
glacier pushed the
Yeah.
bomb over that animal.
Maybe you think that the glacier maybe made Salisbury steak land.
Maybe those
place.
hikers died by glaciers. Crush them.
Glacier cut off tongues. I don't know. Take off shirts. We don't know.
He's cold as weird.
The
huh?
love pass a very weird place with glaciers. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good theory.
Yeah, it's
all the
delicious.
time. You can always fall back on
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah. Sure.
So, a lot of people believe that it's a celestial observatory.
Oh.
It seemed that if you took all the precision survey data and about the locations of stones and
Yeah.
filled in holes on the Stonehenge site and put them into a computer, then all sorts of wonderful things begin to emerge. Like all of that is actually helping you understand celestial things in astronomy.
Stars and
Yep, it's all there for that reason. So it appears that the original builders of the 2600 BC were sophisticated astronomers whose Neolithic observatory on Salisbury Stake Plains could be used not only to find the sunrise point on Midsummer's Day, but also for making calendars and predicting the next eclipse and all manner of other things too, like the apocalypse, probably.
that's pretty cool
Stuff
though.
like that. Yeah.
It's like again,
I do like how the stars were used a lot more
Yeah.
in building. It's like, let's line it all up. It's all the same up there.
Can't even see the stars anymore.
No.
But no, it's really cool how similar.
Satellites would really screw with their minds.
I know. It's really cool how similar like this in the pyramids are in the building. And,
Yeah,
and
it was taken in.
Yeah.
They took that in to like design how it was facing and shape and stuff.
right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, recent findings have developed the argument that Stonehenge, before falling into ruin, had alignments embedded in its architecture. An alignment consists of a marker, usually a stone, such that if looked upon by someone standing at the right place, such as the Stonehenge's center,
Yeah.
on the right day, such as the first day of summer, he or she would see either the sun or the moon either rise or set directly over the marker. In this case, a sunrise.
That just seems like
A lot of work.
and the precision would be tough, right?
Yeah.
If you got
Yeah.
these kind of random stones, I mean, even if
It
like
had to have been like a plate that had like
Yeah.
footprints and you got to stand
you gotta
right
stand
here.
right here.
Hold on to my staff. Now you see it, don't you?
They got a
Now you see
they got
it.
a replica of his staff right there.
Merlin
Merlin's staff.
pulling his his robe back.
His robes up. Yeah.
I see it.
Look into my eyes.
Crazy. Oh man. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's just very specific.
Sure, yeah.
And they're
It is.
like, it was probably that way. We don't know. But the suggestion that alignments once existed at Stonehenge triggered a fierce backlash from archaeological community. And damn it, it's not.
This is not right.
Yeah. However, over the years, archaeologists. Oh man, that was stuck in the tongue.
Yeah.
And astronomers have built many bridges over Stonehenge. Hopefully, the Stonehenge Observatory in the next step in the quest for common ground.
Okay.
Unless modern druids come and sacrifice you.
Yeah, they still do.
And I'll talk a little about the druids.
Okay.
They're weird. Like
Yeah.
back in the day, they're different from modern day druids.
Okay.
The druids now are kind of like hippies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I might have offended somebody.
Yeah.
I might have
Never
offended
listen to this podcast again.
That was a druid, by the way. That's exactly.
Let's get our staffs and leave.
I'm taking my staff home. This is ridiculous.
This podcast is offensive. Yeah.
Many believe it might have been a place of healing. It's like a modern day urgent care. You know what I mean? It's like, archaeologist Jeffrey Wainwright and Timothy Darville say the content of graves scattered around the monument and the ancient chipping
Didn't work out very well.
of its rocks to produce
All these patients died around it.
ancient chipping of his rocks to produce amulets indicated that
Oh,
Stonehenge
man.
was the primeval
Here we go.
equivalent of Lourdes, the
Oh.
French shrine venerated for its supposed ability to cure the sick.
Gotcha.
So they were just making amulets out of them rocks left and right.
There you go. I'll
Yeah.
cure your blindness.
What? What's wrong? You got the gout? Here's an amulet.
Chip a little piece off naked.
Put that on. Go touch his staff and put it on your
Put
neck.
it in your tea, drink it tomorrow.
You got to swizzle that tea with a Merlin staff. It'll cure
Come
your
back
bad
and touch
breath.
his staff. You'll be good.
Yeah. An unusual number of skeletons recovered from the area showed signs of serious disease or injury. Analysis of their teeth. Everybody who's died would probably have disease or injury.
I haven't looked into that. Like, how can you tell? It's like he had syphilis. Well, syphilis maybe, but
Maybe.
but like some of
Yeah.
them, it's like, yeah, he had a real bad case of bladder infections.
Yeah, he had the
See how the
chlamydia.
femur's got a curve on it?
Yeah, I don't know. But, obviously they died.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The worst urgent care in history.
Something was wrong with all these people, obviously, if they died. Analysis of their teeth showed about half were from outside the Stonehenge area. Yeah. Again, the dentists think they know everything.
I can tell you right now, you need a crown.
He ain't from the Salisbury Steak area. Tell you that right now. I would have done different work.
These cavities killed him for sure. That's why everybody needs to get your cavities filled.
Yeah, come make an appointment. Unless you want to end up like this skeleton.
I got a card taped up underneath your seat. Thanks for coming into the
You'll get a free toothbrush.
free toothbrush for you. Free toothbrush for you.
Don't end up like the Salisbury skeletons. Get your teeth worked on.
Sure, the bones are all deformed because
Yeah.
your tooth didn't get fixed.
People were in a state of distress. If I can put it as politely as that, when they came to the Stonehenge monument, Darville told journalists assembled at London Society of Antiquaries. He pointed out that experts near Stonehenge have found 2 skulls that showed evidence of primitive surgery. Some of just a few known cases of operations in the prehistoric Britain. So they were operating on people's heads, their skulls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't
We
know.
don't do that in urgent care.
Not usually. No. But that's
How
kind of
about a
crazy.
craniotomy
Can
today?
you imagine what they would have? Like a stone scalpel?
Yeah, it's Just tap it on in.
Close his
That
nose.
help your headache? Oh,
Yes, that
he's
would.
dead.
Bring in the next one. We'll try the other side. I think we just
Go
did.
from back to front, not front to back.
Yeah. I'll hit a little bit harder on the first hit. See if that helps. Anyways. So
Consult the druids.
where's Merlin?
Always.
Even today, that's pretty serious end of medicine, he said. Also found near Stonehenge was the body of a man known as the Amesbury Archer, who had a damaged skull and a badly hurt knee.
Took an arrow to the knee.
And died around the time the stones were being installed. Analysis of the archer's bones showed that he was from the Alps. I don't know how they knew he was an archer. Was he holding a bow? Did he have an arrow in his mouth?
I think I have seen how they determined they were archers, the thickness of their forearms.
Gosh, dang. Look at that thick.
Like the bone thickness because
Really?
of the pressure
Sure.
constantly from shooting. I don't know.
Merlin thinks
I
he's
bet
an
my
archer.
forearm's huge.
Oh, my goodness.
Look at the bone on that forearm.
Look at a forearm on that archer.
Look at the cavities in that guy's mouth.
According to a weird water healer dude that I found on the internet, I found this guy. I couldn't find what his name was, but he had a website with lots of stuff on it.
It's gotta be
I couldn't
legit.
find his name anywhere.
Hopefully, you're using like surf sharks.
There was a pop-up that kept
Your
saying,
wife's
"You
gonna
are
text you
healed."
today and be like, "Our savings been cleaned out." The water healer said,
There was a lot of weird pop-ups. Let's just say that. Click this to be healed of all sicknesses.
"Click here to see Merlin's staff." Wait a
It
minute.
just shows Merlin with his eyes going like this.
That's the thumbnail.
Yes, the thumbnail, yeah. Anyways, this weird water healer dude, he said there was a spring at Stonehenge that had a type of water pure and divine in its energy field.
Oh.
It's beneficial to our health and our well-being.
I was thinking of another spring.
Yes, you were.
Just bounce on over.
Yeah, not that kind. No. A water spring.
Okay.
Our ancient ancestors recognized its harmonic energy emissions and cited stone circles, pyramids, holy temples,
Around
and
it.
constructs above it. No doubt harness that energy.
Okay.
This guy was all about
It's
that.
like build around the really like special spring.
Yeah, he said there was 2 types of springs. There was a yin and yang. Or yin and yang. Yin aquifers, it might have been yang aquifers. Now I'm confused. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But They produce a gigantic spiral pattern called a geospiral. Some geospirals emanate over vast distances, while others, smaller and more contained. Ancient architects worldwide understood that no matter how deep the yin water is, it will constantly emit a harmonic healing field beneficial to all life forms. So he said at the near center of Stonehenge once stood the altar stone, which bejeweled the site. Catching the sun and moon light in its beautiful green-colored sandstone, was flexed with garments and mica and was a sight to behold. Standing around 16 feet tall.
Is this on that website?
Yeah. This was all in quotations. Standing around 16 feet tall, this attractive stone was as smooth as velvet to touch.
Ooh.
The first time I touched the altar stone, a zap of energy like an electric shock traveled up my arm.
Dang.
So I don't know if this guy feels like you went back in time
Yeah,
to
this
touch
is
the
really
altar
weird.
stone, or if there is some sort of an altar stone still
I'm
there.
going to need to take a look at this website.
Yeah, I'll have to go find it again for you. Make no mistake, this type of underground water is alchemic. In ancient times, it was recognized that if you place, say, a normal cup of spring water or river water above a geospiral, the water would be transformed into holy water, sacred and imbued with the living life force of Mother Earth.
Dang.
Likewise, the
I'd
knights...
drink that.
Yeah, I'm thirsty. Real bad, real thirsty. Likewise, the Knights Templar and medieval Masons created stoops and set fonts above the sacred earth pattern to transform the properties of water for their magical religious rituals. I mean, I think we saw this in the last
A
crusade.
lot of stuff. Yeah.
Right?
True.
This is what I'm envisioning. Is
I will say, like, this is off topic a little bit, but from research that we've done for this podcast, I get some real weird ads from Google.
I know.
Like amulets and like weird ropes.
I guarantee
and
the FBI is watching us closely.
what is this?
What is
naked woman? I was from the podcast research.
We were looking at amulets. It came up. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's for the podcast.
Yep.
But it does. It brings up some weird like like hippie stuff a lot.
That must be some awesome water.
That's more than water. Yeah.
You know.
So, this is a little less exciting,
Okay.
but maybe it's exciting for some people. Some people love this kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Stonehenge's construction may have been about more than just primitive barbecue cookouts.
Mm-hmm.
Some believe the British megaliths were erected to celebrate peace and unity.
Yep.
During the monument's period of intense building between 3000 BC and 2500 BC, the culture of the British Isle was increasingly unified, a fact exemplified by more uniform pottery styles taking hold throughout the region.
That's pretty funny that that's
People
how they
are
figured
all
it out.
coming together and
Same
building stuff
Tupperware.
together. Exactly.
Everybody's sharing Tupperware.
You see how his pot come to the top, and that's
got lines around it. They
they've
all
been
loved each
mixing.
other.
They've been mixing.
They were hugging, kissing.
The massive endeavor would have taken thousands of laborers and employed stones from far-flung Wales. Working on such a big
That's a place. We're not talking about a whale in the water.
Far-flung.
Yeah.
Big collaborative project would have been unified exercises on its own. So Stonehenge was built from like the unified different tribes and groups all coming together and doing something together. They're like, hey, let's lift stones together. let's build something together.
We're bodies. Let's move heavy stuff.
So it's like a team building
gym
exercise.
buddies.
Yeah, exactly.
Like these days.
So,
Right?
as much as everyone loves those team building exercises, they've been doing it since 2500 BC.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, some researchers believe. Reachers. Yeah.
Okay.
What's the series?
Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher. Yeah. Is the result of world's first team building exercise, which unified the people of ancient Britain. According to researchers,
It's like Hands Across America?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what it is?
It is not so much a temple, it is a monument, and it seems the big theme is unification. Stonehenge gets visited at certain points, people build and then go away. Kind of like the little people collecting rocks and bringing more in.
Yep.
But they just would come, help out, and this is showing that this is a unified family.
Yeah.
It's something that Glastonbury Festival and a motorway building scheme at the time, at the same time. It's not all fun. There's work too. People
course.
got to put stuff into this.
Yeah.
And and they found too, like, I think I have something later on that there's like feasts and stuff because they found like bowls and like
Yeah.
it's like people left all their Tupperware and spoons
Their
around
trash.
after
Like their KFC bucket
they buried it.
and their sporks. Yeah. They left
exactly
it there
what
in the
happened.
weeds.
I'm working over here and they're burying their trash, and then they went back.
Exactly.
So, according to the University College London's Pearson, the beginning of the site's construction coincides with the time of increased unity among the Neolithic people of Britain.
Yeah.
People inspired by the natural flow of the landscape, which seems to connect summer solstice sunrise and winter solstice sunset.
Okay.
These ancient people may have been band together to build the monument.
Okay.
He suggests. Stonehenge itself was a massive undertaking,
course.
requiring the labor of thousands to move stones as far away as West Wales, shaping them and erecting them.
Gosh dang, they erected.
He said in a statement, just the work itself, requiring everything literally to pull together, would have been an act of unification.
That's no
the
doubt.
only way is just all these people working together.
Yeah.
The thing is, at that time, the population, there was 4,000 people. Said as many as 4,000 people may have gathered at the site, when at that time, there's probably only about 10,000 people in the area.
So like 40% of everybody was there.
So they
They're trying to
figured
say.
there was such a small amount of people that the only way it would work is for multiple groups to work together.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So that's what it was. It wasn't anything special or temple. It was just more of like, hey, I want to contribute to show we are unified and I love you.
It's like building a city park or something,
exactly.
right?
But it's a community garden.
Community garden.
I bet you they just all went there, buried their trash,
Yep.
went home.
There's a dump. This is the county landfill, basically.
Funny. I always think about like these things with like petroglyphs and stuff. It's like, man, look at these, and it was just kids.
Oh yeah,
Like they were just
Teenagers
graffiti and
drawing stuff they
and
shouldn't
we're
have
all
been.
worshiping.
yeah.
Man,
I know.
probably what this was. Probably the dump. And the only way to see it in Salisbury State Meadows was erect some rocks. Oh, there's a dump over there.
Where is the dump?
I've had a hard time. Maybe we could all get together and put some stones in the air.
Yeah.
And then we can see it.
I ain't getting lost when I got all my trash. Follow
Miles-
Merlin's staff. I'll get you
Miles
there.
and miles of open land, and they have to go there to bury.
Exactly. So we know that the rocks of Stonehenge, they were carried there from like 200 miles away.
long
But
way.
again, we don't know exactly why. But now researchers say they believe it was for the special sonic qualities of a particular kind of stone.
I like this one. I didn't read anything into it, so tell
that's-
me about it.
Stonehenge might have served as a bell-like instrument. Like it was a big old gong of some sort out in the mountains, right?
Yeah.
We first heard of this theory when British archaeologists were given permission to whack the henge, claiming the stones reverberated differently from each other.
Permission to whack my henge.
May I whack the henge? And that's not a euphemism. I really want to whack the henge. Claiming
You
the stone-
wanker.
claiming the stones reverberated differently from each other and gave off a subtly different sound, each of them, right? It's like bing, 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 bing.
Boom.
Yeah, just barely different. The sounds that emerged were almost like wooden or metal bells, giving rise to the idea that the stones were used almost like church bells, or perhaps even as a mode of communication over far distances. I like the sound of that. That's what people
they
would
did
say
too. They did
miles
too.
away. I like the sound of that.
Ah, someone's banging the henge
Man,
today.
Goldie Wilson. I like the sound of that.
Oh, the whacking the henge today.
They out there whacking the henge.
Nah.
Gosh dang. Guess we'll go take our trash over there.
Henge.
Henge.
Hey, whacking the henge today.
Whacking the henge. Anyways, yeah, details were thin at the time, but a new report from The Atlantic gives us a bit more insight into the surprising theory, which posits that Stonehenge was a prehistoric glockenspiel, right? These stones were known
Say
as
that again.
prehistoric glockenspiel. These stones were known as lithophones, or rocks that produce notes when struck. And they've been used that way in Wales for a long time. In fact, one Welsh village called Mainclachog,
Mine clock jog.
Mine
clock.
translated roughly as stone bells,
Oh.
even used blue stones as church bells until the 1700s. According to a team from the Royal Academy of Arts Landscape and Perception Project, the Neolithic worshippers at Stonehenge may have turned to the Welsh to import their own holy rock music. All right? Get it? Rock music?
Yeah.
So it's not a huge leap to imagine that Stonehenge was a place of sonic worship, though it seems fairly unique to Britain in its own construction and size. So this is really cool. To recreate the acoustic properties of this stone circle as it was originally built around 2500 BC, acoustic engineers at the University of Salford in Manchester constructed a 1/12 scale model they called Minihenge. It's Minihenge. It's small. It's like Stonehenge, but
It's
smaller.
Mini-Enge.
Minihenge.
It's Mini-Enge.
Thanks to laser scans.
Perhaps you enjoy Mini-Enge.
Mini? You like a big Enge or mini Enge? You okay with that? Huh?
A Mini-Enge.
It's how you bang the gong. It's not
You've
how
got
big
to
it
whack
is.
the Mini-Enge. Watch me whack it.
Watch me whack my mini Enge.
Excuse me for a moment. I'll whack my Mini-Enge.
I've got permission to whack my Enge.
Mini-Enge.
Mini.
Mini-Enge.
Thanks to laser scans of the site conducted by the governmental research group Historical England.
There's a lot of groups
I know, dude.
that do some weird stuff.
This guy's name is Cox, and his team were
Yeah.
able to replicate the exact dimensions and precise topography of the monoliths using a computer-aided model in a 3D printer.
Gotta have
Okay.
3D printer.
Researchers then tested the model, placing speakers and microphones in and around it.
Well, yeah.
while
It's
working-
going to give off sound if you
Yeah.
have speakers and microphones.
Well, no, yeah. But working at the university's acoustic research
To see how
center,
it like ricochet. And,
which boasts a specialist acoustic chamber. To account for the difference in scale, all sounds were 12 times their normal frequency. So they just like changed the frequency. The study found that people who spoke or played music inside the monument would have heard clear reverberations against the massive standing stones. Testing on the model also suggests that the stones increased the volume on interior sound, so it like made it louder.
so it's like the Red Rock Theater.
It's like Red Rocks. Yeah, it's like an amphitheater almost. And
That kind of makes some sense.
yeah, and kept exterior
Ricocheting it
sound
nicely.
out. So when you were in there, you couldn't hear stuff on. You
Man,
couldn't
I
sound
want to go
people.
to
Yeah.
a concert in there.
So, anyways, that was kind of an interesting.
I like that one. That
little
one
deal.
makes some sense.
Yeah. Anyways,
Kind of.
kind of cool.
Yeah. This would make some sense too.
Yeah.
Protect yourself from cybercrime. We have a way to do that. So, right now, all of us use the internets on a daily basis. And what you need to do is protect yourself by going to these weird sites that have amulets and special water and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You don't know who's looking and prying. So get yourself Surfshark, which is a virtual private network that can protect you and all your devices from online threats.
Yep.
You basically are going gray man online. It's not going to trace back to your IP address. So if you want to look at that weird stuff, no one's going to know it's you.
Look away.
Which is the way to do it. Just looking up mini engines.
Mini and John Bing.
No lumping, yeah. Don't worry about malware, phishing, obnoxious emails, and unsafe ads because you're protected.
Yeah.
So, the thing I like also about Surfshark is you can use it for entertainment. You can connect to the UK and listen to some sounds from Stonehenge if you'd like to on their private
Probably a
network.
Spotify playlist.
I'm sure it
You know?
is. I'm sure it is. But yeah, pretty cool that you can use it that way, not only to protect yourself.
Yeah.
You can get Surfshark for 27 months and less than $60 if you go to surfshark.deals, put in casual preppers, and it gives you 83% off. Pretty good deal. That's $2.21 a month, less than $60 for over 2 years. You can't beat it.
Nope.
You can't beat it.
How do you get it?
Surfshark.deals/casual preppers.
Beautiful. So what about this like Roman temple deal?
Yeah,
Cam?
so this kind of makes some sense because, I mean, the Roman Empire, the expansion and it conquered pretty much everywhere
they
and
were
everything.
a big deal.
Yeah. So a lot of people believe that the Stonehenge was just built by the Romans.
Yeah.
Kind of makes some sense.
Sure.
They like to erect rocks.
They do.
Stuff like that. Colosseum and all that cool
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So the first known excavation of Stonehenge in the center of the monument was undertaken in the 1620s by Duke of Buckingham,
Oh.
prompted by a visit by King James I. The king subsequently commissioned the architect Inigo Montoya
You
to
killed my
conduct a
Stonehenge.
survey and study of the monument. Jones argued that the Stonehenge was built by the Romans.
Okay.
In 1655, the architect John Webb, writing in the name of his former superior, Inigo Jones, argued the Stonehenge was a Roman temple dedicated to Caelus, the Latin name for the Greek sky goddess Uranus.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, and built following the Tuscan order. When describing and drawing up a rendition of Stonehenge in a Roman work and temple from Inigo Jones, Stonehenge Restored, 1725, Jones was so convinced that Stonehenge was built by Romans because of its geometry and symmetry that he added another central trilith, the stone doorway thing, like the common like 2 pillars and a top part. He added that because he's like, this is definitely
What they
Romans.
had.
Yeah. The antiquary, is it antiquary? Yeah. John Aubrey surveyed Stonehenge in the late 17th century and was the first to record the ring of pits, later named after him as Aubrey Holes.
He found it. Let's name it
Not
after
Aubrey
him.
Pits, but
No.
Aubrey Holes. Why not? His studies of the stone circles in other parts of Britain led him to conclude that they were built by the native inhabitants rather than Romans or Danes, as others had proposed. As the Druids were the only prehistoric British priests mentioned in the classical texts, he attributed Stonehenge to the Druids, and that's where that came about.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because it seems like it's some sort of religious of some sort site. Like, who else would do it? It's got to be the Druids.
Exactly.
Right?
So the fact that, he found other things that mimicked what other civilizations were doing in Britain, he's like, this isn't the Romans that did it. So, so a Druid is a member of a learned class among ancient Celtics. They acted as priests, teachers, and judges, and the earliest known records of the Druids comes from the 3rd century BCE. Their name may have come from the Celtic word meaning knower of the oak.
Tree.
That's a good name. Oh, yeah, oak tree. Well,
you almost had it. You were
There's only
close.
one oak. Yeah. Very little is known about the details of the Druids, who kept no records of their own. They were secret society. So anyway, Aubrey's idea was expanded by the 18th century antiquary William Stukely, who surveyed Stonehenge and was the first to record the avenue and the nearby cursus.
Yeah, you got this other part in there again. You already did that.
I already skipped that part. Yep.
So this is where it gets good.
So anyways, yeah.
Okay, Cam? This is where it gets good.
This is the better stuff.
It always
and I
gets
thought there'd
good
be
here.
a little more of this.
Yeah, there's not a lot. There's not a lot.
This is the best part.
A lot of people, a modern take on the Merlin hypothesis that we talked about.
Very modern.
Yeah, very modern. Proponents of ancient alien theory, also known as the ancient astronaut theory, right? Believe that extraterrestrials with superior knowledge of science and engineering landed on Earth thousands of years ago, sharing their expertise with early civilizations and helping them build architectural wonders such as Stonehenge.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
Pyramids, the Stonehenge, just is
They
way
came
more
in
advanced than
because we still cannot figure it out. We don't
that
know.
blows my mind.
We have theories very much like the pyramids, but we don't know.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different theories. Nobody can agree. Glacier. They also credit alien visitors for the construction of the Egyptian pyramids, Easter Island's mysterious statues, and a variety of other monuments. The author Eric von Daniken, who is often considered the father of ancient alien theory, has suggested that Stonehenge is a model of our solar system. So it's like they built a replica of the solar system for some reason, right?
It's a long time before any of that came about.
I know. A number of other explanations have been offered for aliens' alleged hand in Stonehenge's creation, including that the stone circle served as a landing pad for spaceships. Charging pad, yep. Or as an observatory for extraterrestrial activity in the sky. So basically, it was like, it's kind of like crop circles. Like this is where
navigational.
you land. Yeah, you land here, or you use this to navigate to other places, or whatever.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I can get down with that.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Dang, I thought there was more.
I know, there's really not much more.
I didn't have a lot on this one either, but a lot of people, like I was saying about the petroglyphs and stuff like that, that maybe the Stonehenge was just built by bored cavemen.
Yeah.
They were just like, something to do.
Yeah.
Chasing dinosaurs gets boring. So they just decide to erect some weird circular stone thing.
I could honestly see that.
I could see that too.
If I imagine maybe you and I living out in the wilderness with not much to do other than survive.
Yeah.
We have that
Men have
figured
to
out.
do physical things to
do something.
make you feel like you're not going insane.
You just tell I could imagine us sitting down with our wives. We're building Stonehenge.
Yeah. What are you boys doing today?
Yeah.
We're going to go build Stonehenge.
And they'd be like, what for?
Stonehenge.
What else are we going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we're bored.
Go build a stone thing or something.
Go with your friends and build your
driving
hedge.
me nuts.
Henge.
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with this is where they kind of believe that maybe this was just something built by bored cavemen.
Yeah.
Scientists have discovered what is believed to be one of the world's oldest doodles, an ancient scrawl carved into a rock by cavemen 4,500 years ago.
That's an old doodle.
That's an old doodle.
Doodle's been here a while. Huh?
Cambridge University experts believe the crudely etched circles are the Neolithic version of modern office workers' scribbles on a Post-it note.
Look, this is what we build. It's the
Oh,
plans.
Daddy,
It's the
put it over
plans.
there.
Ooga
Stonehenge.
booga. Ooga booga.
Ooga booga.
Stonehenge.
Ooga booga Stonehenge. The 17 square centimeter chunk of sandstone was discovered by an amateur archaeologist. I'm sure she feels real good about that.
Yeah.
Susie Sinclair.
That's a great name.
Yeah. Susie Sinclair.
I'm Susie Sinclair,
That's a really good name.
archaeologist extraordinaire.
Even rhymes. From the bottom of a deep quarry in Cambridgeshire during a university fun day.
That doesn't even sound like a real place.
It doesn't.
Over.
Yeah.
Over where? No, that's what it's
Over
called.
at Cambridgeshire.
Over Cambridge.
I'm going to go over to Cambridgeshire. No, it's in Cambridgeshire.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
But yeah, they found, it was a fun day and they were just digging stuff up and they found these things which they believed were actually just doodles. So this was in around the same time frame, with the Neolithic, new Stone Age. So they were like, maybe they were just really bored and they decided to erect this like fun stone place.
Yeah.
So
I
there you
get
go.
that. That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's nothing super special. Unfortunately, we are looking way too much into it, and it was just some big, tough, thick-thighed dudes built it. out of nothing.
But there's another professor, Professor
this one.
Terrence Mead. He said ancient builders wanted to create a play without words, with one stone casting a phallic-shaped shadow. Get it?
That is
Merlin stuff. This would then penetrate an egg-shaped monument before hitting
that
a
makes sense.
central female stone that symbolizes fertility. Okay? The professor examined nearly 20 stone circles all across the UK and filmed their changing silhouettes at sunrise on ritually important days. So dude was out making rock porn.
Ritually important days.
Ritually important days. He's making rock porn. It's weird. Shadow porn. He
I
told
don't know what to build, but I'm like in the mood for something cool.
Gosh, that shadow.
That's an egg penetrating Felix. Oh man!
He told the Daily Telegraph.
When you don't have a lot more things to build,
That's what-
pornographic images with.
My basic discovery is that many stone circles were built at a time of a fertility religion. That stones were positioned.
What's that religion?
No, positioned such that at sunrise on auspicious dates of the year, phallic shadows would be cast from a male symbolic stone to a waiting female symbolic stone.
So like the shadow gradually penetrates and fertilizes?
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. The archaeologists explain on certain days of clear sunrise, the shadow of a phallic heel stone penetrates the great monument during the summer solstice before arriving at the altar stone. Stonehenge could also represent symbolically the opening by which Mother Earth gave birth to the plants and animals on which the ancient people so depended.
So weird.
I know. He wrote in an essay.
Can you imagine just like standing there watching a shadow? Oh.
I'm getting a weird vibe. Okay.
The shadow's growing and something else is growing.
This
Hey, you
reminds me.
boys, come here.
Remind me of something. What is it?
It's just like
What is it?
such weird ways of.
He wrote in an essay published in the Medical Journal. It could depict, he suggested, the human vulva with the birth canal at its center.
Okay.
The
Less
essay,
pornographic.
the essay was illustrated with sketches of Stonehenge
Let
and of
me draw
female
this up for you.
genitalia.
Hey, you don't see it? Let me draw it for you.
draw it out. It's a bit of a mini-enge, but let me show you.
Just the way I draw it. It's a mini-enge.
This is not how it will look on me. I'm just saying this is the
Just
size.
a
of it.
quick drawing.
It's just a sketch. It's
I'm
a
not an
doodle.
artist.
It's a doodle. Okay?
It's a little doodle.
I mean, she didn't say it was a little doodle. I'm saying the doodle.
Forget it. You see what I'm
Anyways,
saying?
It looks like a vagina.
Just right to it.
Just get right to it. Some think it might
Trying
be.
to be all polite and like reserved, but then you're like, screw it. Is this?
Yeah, it's that. Some say it could be a large crystal ball.
Okay.
More recent studies have revealed that Stonehenge enabled our ancestors to predict celestial events like eclipses, solstices, and the equinox, much like a modern day astronomical observatory, right? So basically what we were saying before, it's like it
Kind of a crystal ball.
Yeah,
it's more of like
you,
predictive.
You can predict like the seasonal cycle and all that kind of stuff for
So
agriculture.
it's like, yeah, the sun touches the top of these, and then by the time it does that, it's going to be an eclipse.
Exactly. So
And then see how that penetrates an egg.
anyways, my wife.
Anyways, while you're watching this,
I
you
got
should-
my wife pregnant. By the way.
just standing here.
Just standing here happened. This place is awesome.
I don't know how it happened. She's at home the whole time. As I come here,
Yeah.
she gets pregnant.
By the way, we're not letting teenagers anywhere near this place. Okay?
It's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Pretty strong.
Pretty weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So another theory is that it's just a giant party center.
For sure.
You know, this was just a place
Yeah.
that people would gather,
Like a Chuck E.
celebrate.
Cheese. It's an ancient Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, maybe you could throw some rocks at the larger stones.
Yeah.
You could jump tops of stones.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
Then
fun
you get
stuff.
little stones that come out and you buy other stuff with it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's awesome. Chip little pieces
Get an
off.
amulet.
Yeah. This sounds amazing.
For sure.
So yeah, they figured this after excavating prehistoric animal bones. Findings were published theorizing people gathered there for epic sociable feasts.
For sure,
It's like, let's all gather at the stones. We're going to have fun. Family reunion at our stone house.
Bring your Tupperware.
Yeah. So that's what it was. And I
Okay.
guess that kind of goes into this next one of
Yeah.
that they had excavated the bones.
So in 2013, archaeologists discovered a site near Stonehenge with evidence dating back about 5,000 years before the structure was even built. It contained evidence of burning thousands of flint tool fragments and the bones of wild aurochs.
Oh, I love them.
Aurochs, yeah.
Can I get them?
Those are your rocks.
Have you had the back strips from an aurochs?
These are our rocks.
Those are good. No. These are aurochs.
Those are your rocks. These are our rocks. All right. Leading David Jock of the Open University to declare, we may have found the cradle of Stonehenge. The reason why it is here, it's a hunting site.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
It's like
Done.
a hunting blind or something.
Yeah.
That they had erected.
Or it's a Chuck E. Cheese.
Or it's a
One
Chuck
of
E.
the two.
Cheese. It could be both.
Yeah.
It's
Or it's just a pavilion
a
that a lot of
vacation.
people ate under.
Yeah, it's like you eat your KFC out in the pavilion.
Yeah.
For a family reunion. Anyways,
Our
that's
family
Stonehenge.
has a Stonehenge rented this month.
I don't get it.
Summer
You guys should be
solstice.
off of here. We have it from 2 to 4 on the summer solstice.
But be careful. I heard you get pregnant.
Yeah. That sure is right.
You got all rocks. Okay?
These are all rocks.
That's how they reserved it.
Yeah.
Like, all rocks.
All rocks.
On November. All rocks.
These should all have British accents, but I don't know why we're not using them.
All rocks. I know.
All
Because I'm not
rocks.
very good at
Yeah,
it. Don't do it enough.
Anyways, that's Stonehenge.
All rocks.
That's Stonehenge.
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 Got a Stonehenge.
Yeah. Stonehenge.
Stonehenge.
But I hope you guys learned something. Hope it.
So they're either
Yeah.
You
You
get
know?
pregnant going there,
Yeah.
or giants.
I'd
carried
like
them
to
in.
visit one day. I really would.
Yeah.
I think my wife went when she was young. Or
Makes sense.
yeah, maybe she did.
How?
Maybe she
What
didn't.
did she go that matches up 9 months from when your daughter was born?
Nope.
Dang.
I
okay.
don't know. It was she was like in high school or something.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I know.
I'd like to visit them.
Visit.
Oh, I'd like to visit them.
like to visit them. I like to take a trip
Man, too many words.
Stonehenge.
Tongue's real tired. I've been reading too much. Talking. Tongues real tired.
Stonehenge makes my tongue tired.
This podcast gets my tongue real side.
But today's podcast is brought to you by TacPack.
Yeah.
The only tactical subscription box with useful professional grade stuff inside. Use our code Casual Preppers and you're going to get a free $70 machine made part from Next Level Armament. That's at tacpack.com. You put in the code, you get the free stuff, and you get your box for
You basically
$50.
get free stuff as well.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I don't know how
They
do
have
it.
the magic of Merlin or something.
I bet
you
you they
know.
do have a Merlin.
They got
working there.
Merlin's staff in their bathroom at the TacPack house. You know?
What do we put in the box? Grab Merlin's staff, and it'll just appear.
It'll magically appear.
That'd be awesome.
But anyways, yeah, get some TacPack.
Yeah.
Anything
Cool.
else you want, Cameron?
No, that'd be awesome to visit Stonehenge for the podcast.
It really would. Do a
So
live,
we're here.
live podcast.
Yeah, that'd be
At
amazing.
Stonehenge.
I really would love to visit these sites just for the podcast. Man,
That's a new word for
I had a late night. Okay,
Did you?
My son? Speaking of dentists,
Oh, no.
he's got to go to the dentist today.
Of course.
and he just like wouldn't sleep all night. He's
Yeah.
like, I can't sleep. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're the worst.
Yeah.
All of your college savings are going into this.
I hope you like good teeth because that's all we can give you.
Yeah, at least they'll be straight. You'll be poor as
Yep.
any man.
Find you a good woman, head to Stonehenge. I'll have grandbabies.
Yep.
Yep. All right, guys, that's all we got. Stay survived.